Hello, planner peeps. It's your girl, Chris, aka Terrible Hime. It's been a while since I sat down and did a dedicated planner and journal video, so I thought this would be a really good time to do a current Techo Kaigi because I have been in my system for about 6 months because I started everything from my previous Techo Kaigi in December. I'm going to first talk about these 5 notebooks, which were what I plan to use at the beginning of the year. And then I will also show you the new notebooks that I've added to my system. So I know this looks like a lot, and I mean, it doesn't just look like a lot, it definitely is a lot, but I am the kind of person that likes to compartmentalize things. So a lot of this stuff is like very different for very different purposes. But anyways, let's jump right into it. I'm gonna set these aside. So just to quickly recap what these things are, this is a Pocket Rings Planner by Moterm, at least the cover is by Moterm, and the inserts are different than what I was using at the beginning of the year. This is a 5-year A6 Hobonichi. This is for fitness and health tracking. This is a Hobonichi Weeks, and this is what I use to journal about my cat. This is a true A6 Moterm Ring Planner, and this is basically like my daily to-do list, and this one's mostly about productivity. And then the last thing I have here is an A5 Midori Grid Notebook that I use for commonplacing. So the TLDR is that all of these things have been working really well for me so far this year. I have stayed in and kept up with everything that I have here. There have been a few changes, but overall, this part of my system has pretty much stayed the same. I think that the most consistent, well, I don't know. Yeah, actually, I've just been super consistent with everything. To be 100% real with you, I am not somebody that has a lot of stuff going on in my life. I don't have kids. Yeah, so I just have a lot of time to myself. So I don't find it very difficult to like keep up with these things. Sometimes it can be a little bit tedious, but overall they are pretty functional for me. So I'm just gonna go from like biggest to smallest and kind of show you what's going on. And hopefully everything is in focus. So this is the Pocket Rings, and at the beginning of the year, I had this set up with a mini Nolte notebook that I ripped apart and hole punched all the pages. But since then, I have found that it's kind of like bulky and heavy to keep in my everyday bag. So I kind of like reduced the bulk a little bit by replacing all of the inserts that I had with inserts that I made myself. So like I do have a couple pages still in there. I have all these like sticker sheets for like fruit stickers and stuff like that. But I redid this page because honestly, I just messed it up really bad. Yeah, so this is the one that was there before. I messed it up really bad because it's obviously not meant to be in a rings planner. And when I hole punched it, it basically cut a bunch of stuff out of month 6 and I didn't realize it, and I started tracking in month 7. So I remade my own page, and then I also redid all the monthly pages so that it's 1 month on each page. It's more of a vertical situation. And then for the weekly pages, I redid them myself as well. I just find this sort of Hobonichi Weeks kind of layout a little more functional for me, and I also like having the grid spacing everywhere. When I was using the Nolte thing, the top section that was dated didn't have grids, and I just like can't write very well when I don't have a line to use as reference. This thing is really hard to put back in. But yeah, other than that, I just have like some lists, I have some information, I have some extra credit cards, I have some medical stuff, and overall this has been really functional. This is also the only planner journal situation that I took with me to Japan, and it was not something that I kept in my bag every day because it's just like bulky. I didn't need it. I don't tend to try to write things down in the moment, but I would use it to like recap my day, and it was really nice to have something that was like kind of small. And I buy most of the inserts from Japan because it's something that's really accessible over there. But this has been working really, really well for me. The only thing, like I said, that I'm not loving about it is that it's like a little bit big and bulky if I want to carry like a very small, maybe like a fanny pack type bag when I go out, but I can still make it work. I have considered maybe switching to like a plotter, but I actually don't know that my inserts would fit into a plotter system because they're so tiny. Like this is not that big, and obviously the space is not filled up, but all of the stuff that I do want to keep in here fits in here. Not sure the same could be said if I tried to switch over to a plotter ring planner. Anyways, okay, setting this aside. Next up, let's talk about my health and fitness 5-year journal. I am going strong in this. So the yearly page I kind of use to track my workouts, like whether I'm lifting or walking, cardio, whatever, also my fitness phase. And I've been keeping up with this, but I usually just at the end of each month go in and fill the whole thing in based on the information I've logged. And let's see, let's do like a kind of a satisfying flip. You can see that I've been keeping up with it. I do a little journal situation every single day, but if I don't actually have a weightlifting workout, I don't write anything over here. I just say that it's a rest day. And yeah, it's a little bit repetitive because I do keep a very large Google spreadsheet of my workouts, and that's usually what I work off of when I'm actually working out. And then I transfer the information over into here to have like a physical copy of it. And I don't know, I don't really mind doing both. It's kind of annoying, but I don't really mind it. I'm also keeping track of the weather in here. If I weigh myself, I write down my weight, my fat loss phase. And then in the back, I have some like more yearly type trackers things where it's like whether I'm tracking my macros, and this is like a period tracker / pain. Like I also have in here like headaches, stomach symptoms, stuff like that. So overall, still going strong in this, but I have a gripe. Although I've been like a fitness girly for a long time, I actually checked and I've been working out for about 10 years. I feel like I'm really in my tracking era or like my fitness journaling era, and this has felt very limited, or this has felt very limiting because the spaces are so small. I usually find that I'm using all of the space, and still there was more stuff that I could write about. And I am worried on the days where May is not a good month for workouts because I was on vacation, but I'm just thinking that it's not going to work out if I end up having like some days where I work out 5 years in a row. I am thinking about setting this aside next year and switching to something different that gives me more space to like reflect on how things are going. And I also have an addition to this that still is not feeling like enough room for me, but I'll talk about that in a sec. But overall, I have been keeping up with this, and I think it's interesting. It's interesting to see like where I was last year and where I am now. So what's today? So this is yesterday. Yesterday, I weighed in at 147.2 pounds. 1 year ago from yesterday, I weighed 161.8 pounds. So like that's honestly for me the most interesting thing to see here is like my weight from year to year. I don't really see myself reflecting too much on like what I've actually written from the year before, or even like what weights I was doing in my workouts from last year, because a lot of times the workouts don't coincide. So yeah, that's another reason why I'm considering a different notebook for my fitness and health next year, because although it's interesting to see the informational comparisons year to year, I don't actually pay that much attention to it. But definitely going to try to finish this out for this year at the very least. Next up is my Hobonichi Weeks, and this is working out super well for me. There are a few pages that I just have not used, but it's kind of like I decided not to use them, if you know what I mean. So I have just like a bunch of pictures. Look at these cute pictures of Mafik when he was a baby. Added stickers. This is mostly about memory keeping and journaling and photos and scrapbooking and stuff like that, and I'm kind of living for it. Here I just do a word of the day. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do at the beginning of the year, but that's what I ended up doing, just like one word to maybe jog the memory of something interesting that happened that day concerning my cat. And then the monthlies are turning out pretty well. I feel like they've gotten progressively cuter as I'm kind of finding my style. And I would also say that like I don't only just talk about my cat. Sometimes I'll talk about other pets that I meet that are not my own. Sometimes I talk about other animals as well. But yeah, just a lot of decorative. I either do like a memory or something funny that happened. Basically, this is just memory keeping, and if I didn't have anything specific for that day, I'll just do a little doodle. I'm a little behind because I was on vacation for most of May, but I'm gonna go back in and decorate this, but going strong for June. And then in the weekly pages, this side is basically as it has been the entire time, me talking about like functional things like, did my cat throw up a hairball? Is he eating his food? Is he using the litter box okay? This is usually just like a weekly recap memory keeping thing. And then I have a little tracker here for all the chores that have to do with cat things, pet things. And it's just been like really, really working out super well. I love coming in here. Oh, these are all the cat washi tapes. This is like not an official flip through. I'm hoping that in July, at the official 6-month mark, that I'll have a chance to like flip through all of my notebooks for you, but you know, just a little preview. But yeah, it's just been working really, really, really well for me. I've always wanted, this is my first year using a Hobonichi Weeks. I've always wanted to try it out, and I am loving it for this specific purpose. I do a little monthly collage in the back, and then I also just like kind of take notes throughout the week of like what's going on, mostly like fun memories, I would say. And I'll use this information to kind of like populate these weekly memory keeping spreads. And then in the back, this is what I was talking about. Like I have no use for the favorites or the My 100. This was my cat that passed away, but I put it in the back so I didn't have to look at it unless I really wanted to. And this is a 365-day checkoff sheet, and I'm using it to check off whether I scooped the cat litter. But yeah, overall, this has just been a joy to use, and I think it was, I kind of got this because I was very sad at the end of 2024 about my black cat passing away. And I'm really glad that I got this and I have been doing this, and I could definitely see myself continuing to do this in years to come. Next up is my ring planner. And this is a true A6 size. I actually went back and watched my video from last year and I accidentally said A5. This is an A6 size. And I have in here like yearly collections, monthly spreads. I have removed previous months because it was just getting really chunky, but I have those set aside and I will show you what they look like hopefully in June. But yeah, I have like some monthly spreads, including a calendar, movies and shows, highlights from the month, a work spread, and a monthly to-do list. And then I have just daily pages for every day. And usually these pages are mostly to-do lists. And then if I have more space, I will do some doodles. I'll glue in some ephemera, I'll do some washi tapes, and I'll do like a little bit of journaling if the mood strikes me. But this has just been like really functional and it's going really well so far. And I just kind of like tweak the daily pages slightly, my monthly pages slightly, month to month as life happens, I guess. I had some repetitive stuff in here with some of my other books, and I just like try to keep everything as separate as possible. So I do usually write like what I did for my workout, but I don't really go into it as like a memory keeping or journaling thing, just to have something to write. Like that goes in my fitness and health planner. You know, if something is cat related, like a chore that I need to do that's a little bit out of the ordinary, I might put it in here, but I would probably also put it in my cat planner. But yeah, I'm just trying to like keep everything kind of concise, I guess. I just have a lot of repetitious stuff in my system, and I'm trying to like keep everything like kind of separate. But yeah, I'm in here every single day. It's been working out really well for me. I usually set up like 1 month at a time. So I have like my July pages already set up. In the back here, I have like some swatches. I think this is probably new. I don't remember if I had as many swatches, but I swatched literally all of the markers and pen. I don't think I did pens, but I think I did all of my markers. And then I have a small section for stickers. Oh, so in the same vein of having a page for all the stickers I get off of like fruits and vegetables and food packaging that I put in my pocket planner, when I have like cut off stickers and washi tape scraps, I just like have a page for that in here, and I thought that was kind of funny. I do have some sticker release paper in here for some random stickers that I had lying around. I usually forget to use these, to be honest, but I'll grab them every once in a while. And then in the very back, I just have like a random notes section. This is planners for 2026, and then a lot of empty pages and Minecraft stuff. So this is working out really well, although I will say I am missing a bound book. I don't know, something about bound books. You just love to have it. It's so satisfying. But I think that it would have gotten very frustrating to be in a bound book if I was using it the same way that I use this, because like these are all of the pages from December through May, and you can see that like when I'm adding a bunch of stuff in there, it gets really fluffy and really chunky, and it's usually all near the bottom of the page because I start the top of the page with my to-do list and stuff. So usually there's a lot of writing at the top, and then the bottom is where you get all the stickers and the papers and the T tabs and stuff like that make it like really big. So I'm glad I went with this option, but I do miss being in a bound book for my kind of everyday planning and productivity. But it's going really well so far. I guess the only other frustration I have is that it's difficult to find true A6 size papers. I don't like making or printing my own inserts. It's kind of just a huge hassle. Right now, I get most of the paper from Sterling Ink, and that's about the only place that I can get this kind of paper. It's the only place that I know of that makes A6 size ring planner pages. So if you happen to know another company that does A6, please leave me a comment, specifically if they have like grid pages. I don't want blank, I want grid, or maybe like dot grid. I wouldn't mind dot grid. But yeah, so far so good. Sticking with this, hopefully through the end of the year. It's working out really well, just functionally, it just works out so well for me. And then the last of the things that I started the year with is this Midori A5 notebook. This is a clear cover from Lauren Phelps, I think. Lauren Phelps design, but it's an old cover. I'm not sure if they have a similar style in stock. And this is for commonplacing. And I've just been keeping up with it really well. I'm in here every day because most of what goes in here is the word of the day from Merriam-Webster, which a lot of times are words that I already know, but sometimes they're not, and then that can be really interesting. I have since stopped putting plant things in here. I haven't had a lot of time to like research other or random things, and yeah, just in the last couple months I haven't really deviated much from the word of the day, although I have, look at this ziggurat. Like, I knew what a ziggurat was, but drew a little picture of it. But yeah, very rarely will I do anything besides the word of the day, but I don't hate it. I like kind of the bigger size for this because I use my TWSBI and it's kind of like a bigger pen, even though I think I have the fine nib on it. But yeah, it's just a little bit nice to have a place where I can write more expansively. Been keeping up with this, liking it. When I went to Japan, I didn't do any of the word of the day stuff, but I came back and I spent like a few hours just sitting here going through the entire month of words. And I didn't hate it. It was fine. A little tedious, but it was fine. See myself continuing with this, although maybe in a different notebook when I run out of pages. I'm maybe like 2/3 of the way through on this. If you watched my Japan haul, which I will leave linked in the cards, I picked up like 3 or 4 or 5 other A5 notebooks, and I'll probably jump into one of those when I'm done with this one. Okay, so like I said, going really strong with everything I started at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, but I have made additions to my system. So let me show you what else I'm using. I have like an A6 supplemental, like tiny notebook that I'm using for fountain pen and dip pen ink swatches. I'm using the A6 Weekly Supplement as a supplemental fitness and health journaling situation. I bought this in Japan. It's a bucket list journal that I have started to populate. I have a day-free A6 Hobonichi for 2025 that I'm using for plant stuff. And then I'm not sure what this is called. Okay, this is a Midori diary, and this is what I'm calling my laugh log. This I recently got in Japan. I don't remember when I purchased this, a few months into the year. This I got in Japan. This was a suggestion from Little Coco Studio, which was a great suggestion. I've had this since pretty close to the beginning of the year, and this I just started recently because my small collection of inks has grown slightly. So let's just like get into it and talk about these things. So this is just like that really plain like grid Hobonichi paper notebook, the one that has the perforated pages, but I'm not really taking these out. And I'm just swatching the inks that I have. I just make a big old blob, I do some doodles, I write it out with my dip pen. I have like a glass tip dip pen, and that's all this is. I'm not gonna get too deep into it because I want to do the 6-month flip through, but yeah, it's super simple, pretty fun to do. And then at the back, I just like write out the fountain pens that I have currently, which is not that many. Most of them are super cheap. This I use in addition to the A6 5-year, and this is basically for weekly intentions and reflections. So when I'm like on top of my fitness game, I will write out what I'm doing for the workouts, my weight, what phase I'm in, if I'm tracking my macros, my macro strategy, keep track of my steps. And then at the beginning of the week, I fill in this side of the page where I talk about like my priorities, how I'm feeling, anything coming up that I'm worried about. And then at the end of the week, I do a reflection. And I'm not really paying any attention to the days of the week. I'm simply using this for journaling. And yeah, I just wish that the two books were combined. Like, it's nice to have this space. And I do think it's been really helpful for me in my fitness journey to stay more accountable with myself. You know, when I set out like priorities for the week, it helps me set intentions, I would say. So I've been really liking this, but I just wish that the book was combined. So I didn't have to keep like this separate little thing in there. And this was when I was on vacation and not doing anything. This is like the current week, getting back into it. But yeah, really liking this, really like having a space where I can kind of talk about the week in general instead of just like really about what I'm doing day to day. I think it's, like I said, just been so helpful for me and my fitness journey and like holding myself accountable. This I got in Japan. It's a bucket list specific journal, and basically in the front of it they have a place where you can make your list of things, which I haven't filled out completely. And then in the rest of the pages, it's like for each of the 100 things, there's like a blank page that I'm assuming you can maybe paste in pictures, which is probably what I will do, or maybe do a drawing, and then a grid page that you could possibly like write about doing that thing. So this was like super cheap. I think I got it at Hands in Shinjuku, I want to say. This was also less than like $5. I just thought it was like really cute idea. Most of the stuff I have in here has to do with food. Some of it is like going places. Some of it is finished reading things or watching things. But yeah, I thought this was just like a really fun idea, so I picked it up. I'm not in here very regularly at all. Mostly if just like an idea comes to me that I want to add to my list, I'll just hop in and add that. Obviously right now I haven't checked anything off my list, although some of this stuff is like not that hard. Some of it is not something I'm probably going to get around to this year, but a lot of this stuff is like cook something I haven't cooked before or eat something I haven't tried before. But yeah, looking forward to filling that out when I get the chance. And then this is the A6 Day-Free Hobonichi for plant things. Basically, I separated my plant stuff from my ring planner because I'm thinking that I might trash the ring planner pages at the end of the year. I don't know, I'm undecided about that. But I wanted to keep all of my plant things for reference for coming years. So basically the way that I'm using this is the Calendex is my monthly to-do list. Like anytime I have a plant chore that's not basic watering, I write it in here and check it off, or just like as a record to know what I did. I also am writing if I purchased something plant related. And then in the monthly pages, I am doing a watering schedule. It's either a watering schedule I plan ahead or logging what plants I'm watering when. It kind of just like depends on the vibe. This month, because I was on vacation in May, I'm kind of playing catch up a little bit. So I'm just logging what I'm watering, but I will probably go back to making a schedule in July. I'm also taking notes on the watering, and then this is just like the good and bad from the month. Yeah, it's really easy to like keep up with, and usually if I make myself a schedule, I will transfer all of that information into my ring planner so I don't have to be in here every day. Little bit of decoration. This was when I was on vacation, and this is where I'm at now. You can see like none of this is filled out down here. I'm logging as I go. And then in the back, it is note-taking and I guess plant-related commonplacing. So like if I get a new plant and I look up some information about it, I'll write about it in here. I did like a search about scale, so I wrote some notes, and then I have like monthly notes as well. This was another new plant that I got. But yeah, most of it back here is like monthly notes. Observations I'm making as the month goes by. And I also think, I also swatched all of the green washi tape that I picked up in Japan. I Also have a lot of pictures from gardens while I was in Japan, because we went to like the Shinjuku garden. We went to one near Ryogoku in Japan, in Tokyo, which is where they have a lot of like the sumo wrestling stuff. We also went to, I feel like we went to a couple of other ones, but I took a lot of pictures of plants, and I'm thinking I might do some like collaging and maybe some memory keeping in here specifically about going to those gardens. I'm also thinking like, and I actually just went to one of my local nurseries. I could have like taken a few pictures and then written about that, but I didn't think of it at the time. But that's something that I could do going forward, because I did have some thoughts and feelings about the nursery that I just went to. In the back, I'm still using it the same way. I think I flipped through this in one or two of my videos, just not the one at the beginning of the year. But I'm tracking the leaf size on my Monstera Thai constellation. This is new plants, so anytime I buy a new plant, I write about it in the back here. And then these are favorite plants by month. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm kind of using like the back page as a place to swatch my Tombow markers. And then I've been using my Energel Plena in here, which I don't really like that much. I'll be real with you. It's not my favorite gel pen, but I bought it because the body is cute. So I figure I should probably use it for something, so it just lives with this notebook. But yeah, this has been working out really well for me. I don't, like I said, I'm not in here every single day. I might check on it once a week, or if I am doing plant chores, like if I set aside a specific time, I'll take this with me as I go around and do my things. But yeah, I'm seeing this as like a really good way to record keep what's going on. I also am maybe going to try to grow some food plants. My friend JD Gaines said that greens are not that hard. I'm a little intimidated by gardening, but if I get into gardening, obviously this is the place where I will put that information. But yeah, overall, I think the Day-Free was a really good choice, because I really only need those monthly pages to be dated, and everything else is just like notes and pictures and research and stuff like that. So love this. We'll definitely be getting another similar book next year, not necessarily this one specifically, but something similar, because I'm enjoying it a lot. And then last but not least, I also picked this up in Japan, got it at Itoya in Ginza. And I kept the dust jacket on it that it came with because I don't want it to get damaged. It's a hardcover book. And like I said, this is my laugh log. And this is the only entry that I have in here. But these are what the pages look like. It's just like 2 entries per page. There's lots of little cat doodles, kind of a space to write the date. And that's about it. That's like the entire book is all the same layout. But the way that I'm using this, so I think for me, something I've noticed about myself is that I find a lot of stuff like humorous and maybe entertaining, something I would give a lull, a laugh out loud if you sent me a text about it. But it's very rare for me to like laugh so hard that I cry, or like a really full body like belly laugh. That's like not something that happens very often. So that's what I wanted to have the laugh log for when something so funny happens that like I'm crying, or so funny that I'm gonna pee myself, or so funny just like it rocks my whole body. And I think it's gonna be really fun to look back on those things. So the only thing I have in here right now is I'm like laughing thinking about it. This is why I wanted this. My husband Joey came home from work and he was like, My feet hurt so bad. I started using new shoes and I thought they would be broken in by now, but my feet are killing me. I was like, oh, dang, that's not cool. I mean, I hope maybe they just need more time to stretch out. Next day, yeah, I don't leave the house that often, but it happened to be a Friday. So the next day, we're both getting ready to leave the house. I'm getting my shoes on and he's getting his shoes on. And I look over and he's putting on my shoes. And I was like, Joey, are those the shoes that you wore yesterday that were hurting your feet? And he was like, yeah, they feel so small. And I was like, they feel so small because those are not your shoes. Those are my shoes. Like, no wonder your feet are hurting. Those are my shoes meant for my feet. And like, we were both dying. And he also said, he was like, if you hadn't said something, I would have kept wearing these shoes because I'm just not paying that much attention. Basically, like, my shoes are black, like all black tennis shoes. There's just like a little bit of pink accent on it. And I saw the pink accent and I was just like, bro, are those the shoes? And then like his own shoes were like way under the bench where he couldn't really see them. Anyways, so that's what this is for. And so far, obviously it's working perfectly. The intention, just a place where I can write down really, really, really funny memories and look back on it and just like have a really good laugh. It's undated. It's got like the Midori paper. It's got all these cute cats on it. It's a nice little hardback journal. And yeah, I'm looking forward to putting more funny memories in here. And this is something that is probably not going to get filled up in 2025, and I'll just like keep going however long it takes to fill this up. And the same thing with this. This is not dated. I'm just gonna hold on to this until everything on my bucket list is complete. This is just for the year. This is also just for the year, but I have a feeling that I'm not gonna fill it up, and that's okay. I'm not really worried about it. The monthly pages actually do extend beyond 2025. So this goes into March on the calendex, and on like the monthly spreads, it also goes into March, I think. So I could potentially get an April start book, but we'll see. It's just like every year it's gonna push it back by 3 months. So if I start in April and I go from April until the next year, April, May, June, July, the April start will end in July, which is kind of weird. So probably this is only gonna be for 2025. And this is also something that I'm just gonna keep using until I use it up. I just don't have like a lot of ink. I don't really see myself investing in a ton more. I kind of have most of the colors that I was interested in, although I do have 2 kind of reddish colors, and I do have 2 browns, because I didn't realize that this Winsor & Newton brown ink is not meant for fountain pens. It clogs it up real bad, so I had to buy a different brown ink. But yeah, this is cute and nice, and when I'm done with it, I'll just probably get another one, unless for some reason I all of a sudden just get a huge collection of fountain pen inks and need to move into something bigger. But yeah, those are all the things that I've added since the beginning of the year, and yeah, this is a lot of stuff. There's a lot of notebooks to be in at one time, but I'm not in all of these every single day. And for me, the ones that I am in every single day are really manageable. Like my commonplacing thing, 5 minutes tops of just like copying the word of the day. This, I come in like once a day just to like write down what I ate for dinner, and if I think of something to add to the grocery list. Otherwise, it's like very low maintenance. I would say the cat journal can take a little while. Like day to day, it's not that much, but when I want to do like a weekly memory keeping spread or the monthly memory keeping spread, that can take a bit of time. The fitness and health stuff, the intentions, the priorities, the reflections, and then the daily reflections and workouts can take a bit of time, but this is something that I'm really passionate about, like my fitness and health, really passionate about. So it's not really a big deal to me to sit down and do that. I think it's, like I said, it's just been like really helpful for me to be more intentional, to think about like how I'm feeling mentally and physically, how my workouts are going, how my body is moving, all that good stuff. I've really been enjoying this, but it just feels a little bit limiting. And the A6 ring planner is just working really well for my productivity. I like that I can take the pages out. I like that I can put as much stuff on the pages as I want because I'm not worried about it getting super bulky by the end of the year, because I can just take anything out that I'm not using. So yeah, I guess that's all I had for this video. Hopefully, I'm not sure how long the video is, but hopefully I kept it relatively concise. Any comments, questions, or concerns, let me know. I would also love to hear how your 2025 planner and journal system is going. Like, have you been able to stay in all the books that you wanted to stay in, or have you tried something new? Do you have any suggestions for me? Maybe for my fitness and health for next year or anything else? Just leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. I would love to do a 6-month recap of my daily planner and like my cat journal, and maybe the plant journal. Not all of this, because some of this is just like not super interesting for most people, but yeah, I will try to do some 6-month flip throughs in July, especially because these past few months I've been really focused on like some specific fitness content and haven't been posting a lot of journaling stuff. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the video. I super appreciate it. If you watched the whole thing up until now, leave me a cat emoji in the comments so I know that you stuck with me. Thank you again so much for watching the video. Don't forget to be responsible for your own gains, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.